All right, well, here's the update. It is 3:24 on Monday, August 12th. She's gone. She's gone. She died at 2:57 is when they called it. So, Judy and I sat there and talked for a while, and we sat there and talked for a while and just chatted and watched some TV and ate some snacks and stuff, and that rattle had started to sneak in a little bit today, and her breathing had slowed. I didn't think it was going to be long. Her hands were starting to get cold, and her feetsies were starting to get cold. But, we sat there and talked, and we decided to finally make our beds and go to sleep. I'd say maybe about 1:30. And Judy fell asleep for a few minutes, and I was messing around on my phone and stuff, trying to write down all the things I needed to do tomorrow. And that rattle started coming back, and she was vocal, but not extremely agonal. And I just could tell it was coming. It was time. And I'm so happy I was here. I wasn't with her, but I was here, But we held her hands and talked to her and everything, and her breathing was slowing down even more and more, and her eyes were open again for the first time. So that stare was going pretty hard. And we just let her know that she'd given us everything we needed, and that I was going to be just fine, and Mark and John were going to be fine, and Judy and Margie, we were all going to be just fine, and Dave was going to be fine. I really think she was holding on for Dave as long as she could, and her poor body just couldn't do it anymore. But so after a little bit, of Judy and I both loving on her and stuff like that, I said, I wonder if she's just wanting us to, if she would prefer to do it alone. She's such a loner. And I thought, I wonder if she'd prefer to do it alone. And so Judy and I decided to step out for a few minutes. And we had a little moment out there crying together and stuff. And I thought, when we were out there crying, I was thinking, I wonder if she just doesn't want me to be in here. And knowing Mom, she didn't want me to be in there, because she wouldn't have wanted me to see it. Because while she was lots of things, and and funny and smart, cunning, sometimes a con, sometimes a pauper, sometimes a prince, at the end of the day, she loved me very much, and I loved her. And she'd forgiven herself for a lot of things finally. And that helped me forgive her for a lot of things, so that's good. But I said, you know what, Judy, I'm going to go take a walk. And hell, I walked all over this hospital, and it is very creepy at night. It's just really weird at night. I don't know. But there are no signs for the chapel anywhere. I finally found it. Well, I finally found two nurses randomly just walking. It was weird, but they told me where the chapel was. And I remember checking my watch once I sat down in that chapel. And it was 2:55. And I just started praying. And I said, dear God, please hear my prayer. Please just take her on home. Let her know she can go. Let her know that everybody's going to be okay. And I prayed really hard, and I prayed for the whole family, and I prayed for myself. I prayed for him to just hear our prayer. I said, I lay my burdens down at your feet, Master. And there was a moment there where I stopped praying. I wasn't finished with my prayer, but I stopped praying and I took a big deep breath, and I felt like I'd taken my last breath with her. And then I prayed for more. I prayed a little bit more. And when I looked at my watch again, after I finished my prayer, it was 3:02. So then when I came back up here, Judy was sitting in the chair, and I knew Mom was gone. Judy didn't know for sure, because Judy left the room to go see where I was, because she thought maybe she had passed. And some nurses came in and called it, and so we got a locket. We got a locket of her hair. So that'll be good. They're doing all the technicalities right now. So anyway, I feel this just overwhelming sense of peace. I just feel very peaceful. Super peaceful right now, and just I'm happy. And I'm happy for her. Her body was not good. And she worried so much about everybody and everything, and she was really scared of death. But she's okay now. And she was a champ. She was really good at dying. I know that sounds weird, but she did it. And I'm really proud of her. And she's already given me everything I needed, you know. And that's my mother. And we chose each other in this lifetime. We had a lot to learn from each other and teach each other. And I know I'll see her again in spirit. I'm so happy she's out of that vessel of a body. I know she has to be too. But when we were sitting there, and Judy and I, before she passed, we were sitting there talking to her and telling her that, everything was going to be okay and that you could just go. Boy, she squeezed my hand real hard, twice. And I think that was her telling me that I needed to leave. So I'm going to make some phone calls and let some people know. And I guess that's it. So April 1st, 1943 to August 12th, 2024. She made that dash count.